Hey nerds, welcome to Jerbear Reacts. Today we're going to recap season 1 of Stranger Things. If you're new here or been here for a while, at the end of each of our big shows, we like to do a recap for the previous season. So today there is no series reaction episode, but tomorrow, being August 25th, will be season 2, episode 1, entitled Mad Max. Before today, we're simply going to do a recap for all the events that happened in season 1, but the big thing is going to be the JerAwards. What we used to do for the Vampire Diaries, the originals, the 100, Teen Wolf, etc. With these recaps, we would kind of break down each talking point from each of the episodes. I think moving forward, we're going to have one condensed, soft recap, and then the bigger thing will be the JerAwards with each of the categories, and then obviously wrap up with our in memoriam. So if you are new here, some of the things in the JerAwards include favorite episode, favorite scene, most heartbreaking scene, etc., all the way through. I actually like to give titles for each of the seasons and for the season finales. That'll be towards the end. Then the in memoriam, then a slow recap, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up, and we'll see you the next day for Mad Max. So now let's go ahead and get into it. So, season 1 of Stranger Things starts off with a group of kids simply playing Dungeons and Dragons. And what this feels like is that their choices actually being made within the game matter in the real world. And in this case, Will chooses to aggro. He chooses to throw a fireball rather than to protect his group. And in hindsight, it ends up he gets gaffled by the Demigorgon. In exchange for Will, they end up getting 11, it seems. And 11 ends up being this little girl who was the person that opened this portal to the other side in the first place. So they lose Will, they gain 11, and through the course of this first season, we get introduced to our main characters, which seems to be the kids in the party, which is Mike, Dustin, Lucas, Will. We also get 11. We get Hopper, we get Joyce, Jonathan, Nancy, Steve, and the rest of the other characters, the other police officers, the teacher, Professor Scott Clark, Benny. Fucking did my man Benny dirty. So we get introduced to all these characters, right? Lucas and Dustin, 100%, they're not on board with keeping 11 around at first until she kind of learns they have powers, which Dustin immediately is like, all right, she's cool as fuck. Lucas is hesitant all the way towards the latter half of the season. And the way that this show worked is after the first half of episodes, after the first 4, you can kind of tell that different characters were connecting dots to different things, such as Hopper trying to figure out where Will is. Everybody is searching for Will getting gaffled by the Demigorgon. He is a missing child. Winona Ryder acts her ass off as Joyce. And she is just having a mental breakdown, losing her son that she knows is still alive, while the rest of the town thinks that this kid is dead. And using lights and different things, she's able to contact him and speak with him. But everybody thinks that she's crazy, and she knows that she sounds crazy. Hopper, who we get a bunch of exposition and background on, we learn that he had a daughter and lost a daughter. So now this missing kid thing starts to hit a little close to home to him. He takes it more serious. Once he starts connecting dots, going into investigation mode, he kind of becomes just Joey badass. And until he realizes that, yeah, something's going on. They at one point, Will's body washes up, right? They think they found the body for this little kid. Turns out to be a fake stuffed teddy bear body. One of my favorite scenes was Joyce demanding to see the birthmark on his arm because she knows that's not her kid because she's been talking to him. So everybody against her, she stands her ground. She knows that she's not crazy. And you just saw Hopper piecing it together, and you want Hopper to go talk to Joyce. And you see Jonathan and Nancy are figuring out what things that happened to them with the disappearance of Barbara. You see the kids picking it together because they're all having, with 11 there, getting the radio interference and having the conversation. Will themselves are hearing him breathe, etc. So you get the groups all separated, and it's all building towards them finally coming together. And once they do for those last 2 episodes, absolutely fucking beautiful. Beautiful once they all came together. And then eventually the big showdown in the school was great. 11 fighting the Demigorgon, are kind of just making it disappear, not knowing where she went, but having that brief kind of, not a post-credit scene, but that scene right before it ends of where Hopper gets taken off. Don't know what happens there, but then he drops off some food, and you see him tie with a little baggie of Eggos, sets it in a little, I don't know what those boxes are called, but leaves it out, presumably for 11. So obviously she could still be out there, maybe even setting up because Hopper lost his daughter, right? He had a daughter that died too, what I assume was cancer. For him going out, leaving food for 11 could lead to a relationship between those two, another father-daughter type thing, because him losing a daughter and then gaining another. The kids losing their best friend, or losing a new friend that they got, only to gain their best friend back to tell stories to Will. Everything was very beautiful. I really loved all 8 episodes of this show. I think it was very well done. I can't wait to see what happens in the second season. I want to see where the characters go. I want to see where the relationships build because I have ideas for a couple relationships. And yeah, overall, I think it was a great first season, a great introductory season to the show. I get where everybody was pretty fucking didn't shut up about it after the first season ended. So that's really the soft recap for it. A little longer than I expected it to be. But the big thing here is let's talk about the JerAwards, okay? We're going to kick things off here with our favorite episode. Normally for nominees, throughout the course of these episodes, for all the seasons, if there's 16 episodes, 24, something like the Vampire Diaries, there'd be 7 to 8, maybe sometimes 10 episodes nominated. I didn't put down a couple episodes on this, but I got to be honest, every single episode is nominated for favorite episode, but there's only one winner. So your nominees are episodes 1 through 8. Your winner for favorite episode, I'm not going to reel off every title name, is actually episode 3, which was Holly Jolly. And the reason that's my favorite episode is that's the episode where Joyce is getting the lights. She tells her, goes to her boss, hey, I need this phone. I've never missed a day of work. I need these lights. She sets it up. Her phone gets fried. She ties up the lights. She puts the ABCD thing up on the wall. And she sits in that cubbyhole talking to the lights and talking to Will. And I love everything about that because that was her confirmation for herself that she could still be crazy from it, but she knows that her son is out there. Give me 1 flash for yes, 2 flashes for no. And it was just very well done. I fucking love Holly Jolly. For favorite scene, your following nominees is, oh, wow, I didn't know what I typed there for a second. Benny trying to get to know 11 in season 1, episode 1. Elle slamming the door shut in 1-2 to stop Dustin and Lucas from leaving. Joyce talking to Will through the lights in 1-3. Hopper beating up random people in 1-4. 11 making Troy pee himself in 1-4. Hopper telling Joyce she was right in 1-5. Jonathan beating up Steve in 1-6. Everyone together for the first time in 1-7. And the kids getting to see Will in the hospital in 1-8. Kids getting to see Will in the hospital was 100% a Frodo moment. Everybody running in. Gandalf. And people just pouring into the room. Very well done. But all of these moments are really, like Joyce talking to Will through the lights is fire. Hopper going around beating people up, fire. 11 making Troy pee himself, just standing up to the mouth breathers was perfect. But for some reason, my absolute favorite scene was what it was actually building towards, was everyone getting together for the first time. They were all inside the buyer's home, and they were all finally there talking about what they saw, what this thing looks like, their ideas, what they should do, and how they should handle it. I love that because we kind of briefly got it for a moment earlier in the show when they were in the police station when everybody was there. But now with this whole people torn back together, easily my favorite scene was everybody together in season 1, episode 7. Most heartbreaking scene. A lot of Joyce on this list. Joyce losing a second phone after having a meltdown. Season 1, episode 2. Joyce sitting with lights all around her waiting for Will to talk in 1-3. The boys and Hopper seeing the body in 1-3. Joyce and Jonathan's conversation in the street in 1-4. Nancy seeing her name on the theater in 1-6. And Joyce seeing Will trapped in 1-8. I think the one that got the most emotions was just kind of Joyce sitting, not with the lights, the Christmas lights at first, but all of the lamps in the house surrounding her in Will's bed and sitting there and waiting for it to happen and talking to Jonathan and him telling her that it's just an electrical issue. And her like just wanting to somehow explain to him that she's not crazy, but she knows she sounds crazy. And him trying to comfort her in the best way that he can because Jonathan at that point fully thinks that Will's just gone. Every time Joyce started having a breakdown, I felt really bad. I don't know if it's because of my love for Winona Ryder or what it is, but just her missing her son. Maybe it's just the mother losing a son thing and just fully her having that, I don't want to say psychotic break, but at the same time, it's what it was. And just knowing that she's right and nobody believing her, and then the lights flick, everything. It's just great. It's just great. Funniest scene. I didn't put a whole lot down because there was once a big moment happens and I know nothing's going to top, I stopped taking them, right? So season 1, episode 1, I don't know if it was Lucas or Dustin. Somebody said, don't be a pussy. And it really caught me off guard. I think I was taking a sip of water. I wasn't expecting the language and it nice little pop. But my funniest moment for the whole thing was Mike seeing 11 walking around the house and he spit his milk out. Only thing I could think of was The Incredibles 2 when old girl shoots the water out of her nose at the table. But Mike and then Dustin just smacking the table says, sorry, just had a moment. That's top tier. That's good shit. We normally have a favorite kiss nominee because a lot of stuff we watch is a lot of teenage dramas. I don't have anything down because there was really only 2 kisses that took place. It was Steve and Nancy, which I just didn't really give a shit about, and then the Mike and 11 kiss just felt, it's kids on screen, so it always feels uncomfortable, but at the same time, it makes me think back when you were a kid and you had your little crush. It was a wholesome moment, but I don't have anything nominated for favorite kiss, so we're just going to completely bypass that category for this season. For favorite kill, we got 2 things on here, and they both belong to number 11. 11 snapping a guard's neck with her mind in season 1, episode 3. She still think, buddy shit snapped and he fell, but obviously in the finale, season 1, episode 8, 11 making the Hawkins peeps. They basically killed them by making their eyes bleed out. Made their inside their fucking skull melt. Top tier. That's the winner, by the way. So I didn't know if I was actually going to do this or not, but rather than on-screen relationships, we can go from the realm of theories and everything else. I'm going to go have put this favorite ship category in, and I have a couple of things listed. Just 3 things. All right, bear with me for these. So obviously Mike has his crush on 11, so I have that listed. It's wholesome. But then also, you got the whole Nancy and Jonathan thing. Jonathan clearly likes this girl. Nancy is with Steve, but there's something there. Either that or I'm reading it wrong. And it could just end up being platonic and they could be hashtag besties. But Nancy and Jonathan, I see a little something there. I was going to put Nancy and Steve. Steve went back and forth with me. I like the dude, but he has some moments where I'm just like, bro, what is your problem? Joyce and Hopper, I put a question mark because they mentioned they may have had something in the past. There was a little something there. I'm not 100% saying I want it to be a relationship, but if it happened, I wouldn't be mad at it. Kind of the same deal as Papa Argent and Mama McCall in Teen Wolf, right? It kind of has almost that same dynamic in a sense. Joyce and Hopper, potentially, they're on the list, but my favorite ship that I have in my brain right now is Nancy and Jonathan because Jonathan's super awkward. Nancy's trying to figure out who she is as a person. They roast each other in the woods, and I hope they get something. And if they end up being just friends, I'm cool with that too. But that's my favorite ship, okay? Favorite friendship. Now, when I typed this stuff out after every episode, I realized what my answer was going to be. I think it's a pretty clear answer. Normally, it's just friendship and relationships involve 2 people, right? When I do these things. My nominees for favorite friendship was Mike and 11. And I put that down before there was more of like the little crush thing. And the friends were saying, we know you like 11, blah, blah, blah. Joyce and Hopper, again, listed here as friends. I like their dynamic as a friendship. I like seeing them on screen together. I like the way they interact. But then I realized my favorite friendship's the boys. Duh. Like, that includes everybody, by the way. That's, even though Will wasn't in the season that much, that's Mike, Dustin, Lucas, Will, and 11. They're all encompassed just in the category of me calling them the boys. So for that group, that's my favorite friendship. I don't know if anything's going to top that if the rest of the show, as long as those people stay together. So that's what I got. All right, we're actually going to do this in this order. We're going to do most underrated, least favorite, and then I have a new category, and then we're going to go with our favorite character, okay? So we're going to start with most underrated character. This is a category that's not always in every season recap, but it is an important one. There's always that character that kind of goes under the radar that may not get as much love as everybody else. Now, after the first half of the episode 1, I'm like, oh, Benny's going to be my guy. Benny kind of calls, see, he was doing the right thing and calling, see, he doesn't fucking know, right? Benny deserved better. But the most underrated character is Mr. Scott Clark, the professor. My man is a nerd just like those kids. And he did talk to the one social lady, but other than that, the radio stuff, he told him about the portals, transdimensional travel. He was out having a little movie night with his girlfriend and ended up on the phone with Dustin talking about some D&D shit, basically, and interdimensional stuff. He's lit. I love Professor Scott Clark. He was out there with the hunt. He helped find the actual hospital gown thing on the sewer lid. Clutch, the whole episode, the whole season. Least favorite character, only put 2 nominees. First one was clearly Martin Brenner. Dude's a whole piece of shit. But really, the characters I hated the most on screen, it's a double winner because they're a team, was Troy and James, the fucking bullies. No. Fuck those kids. I really also didn't like the people Steve was hanging out with, but I don't remember their names, nor do I care. But I really hated Troy and James. My man pulled a knife out on Dustin. and wanted Mike to kill himself by jumping off a cliff. No, that's why you pissed yourself, idiot. Ain't got your arm broke, stupid. So this is a first for the JerAwards, and it just is strictly probably going to be for Stranger Things, but this is favorite party member. So my favorite friendship is the boys. Who is my favorite party member amongst those 5? Again, being Mike, Lucas, Dustin, Will, and 11. For the end of season 1, my favorite member of the party is very easily Dustin. He's a very wholesome boy. He's the one that kind of kept the group together when Mike and Lucas was butting heads. Even though he had his doubts at first, I think I relate to this kid. One, because he's always hungry. He got snacks in his backpack rather than fighting tools. He wanted 11 to float the Millennium Falcon. He was blown away she had superpowers. He didn't even fucking question it. He's like, she has superpowers. Hell yeah. He got winded riding a bike. I mean, the kid is a spirit animal. I love him to pieces. So Dustin takes home the season 1 winner for favorite party member. Now, what about favorite character? Dustin winning that obviously is in the running for my favorite character for season 1. But also, I did put Benny on here. Benny's just an honorable nominee, man, because Benny's just a wholesome dude. His burger place was named Benny. He's just a big wholesome guy. I don't know why I get emotional thinking about this dude. But other nominees for favorite character, besides Benny and Dustin, was Hopper, Joyce, and 11. It's kind of a split winner, but I would have to say my runner-up would be Hopper. I really love Hopper, but the reason I'm going to give it to the winner, I'm going to give it to Joyce, because Winona Ryder did her thing, and I really just, again, the mother losing her son, and she stuck by her guns knowing that she wasn't insane. And she even, no hesitation to go into this thing, not knowing it's the other side, but we're kind of knowing it, but no hesitation to go in there to get her son and to save his life. And just the flashbacks of her going to Camp Byers and hanging out with it, Castle Byers and hanging out with him, talking about his drawings and encouraging his green fire while also recommending they need some new crayons. And just, you could see the weight on her shoulders with her jobs and worrying about her kids, and then to lose one, and just everything, kicking little buddy Lenny, whatever his dumbass name was. The second she knew what he was in there for, kicked him out. No hesitation. I stand by Joyce. She's a strong single mother. I love her to pieces. She wins my favorite character for season 1. Now, I like to name the seasons and the finales. If you watch, I don't know if I can't remember if I did it for Vampire Diaries. I did it for the originals. I did it for Teen Wolf. And I did it for the 100. I name every season. So season 1's official name for this channel is Amber Alert. Will's missing. What the fuck else you want me to call it? Season 1's Amber Alert. The finale's name, the finales also get their own name. The finale's name is Avada Kedavra. And the reason is because that last fucking fight between 11 and the Demogorgon, they just disappear, and it just felt like something cooler should have happened, just like the fucking end of Harry Potter, okay? So that's what it gets entitled. Now to wrap this thing up is our in memoriam, okay? We only have a couple names on here. There's a lot of shit that died, but at the same time, it wasn't a lot compared to other shows, but it was also 8 episodes. So in loving memory to the first scientist we see, Benny, the 2 guards that came after 11, the 2 guards 11 killed in the flashback, Shepard, Barbara, all the Hawkins people 11 made bleed through their eyeballs, the deer out in the woods that Jonathan was going to put down, but he waited 45 minutes to shoot the gun, and then it got pulled off by the Demogorgon. And then these last 2 have a question mark next to because it wasn't clearly answered. Dr. Brennan, he got attacked by the Demogorgon, but we didn't see anything. And also the Demogorgon. It just disappeared. Did 11 take the Demogorgon with her? We'll talk about that in 1 second. Rest in peace to those peeps. But Dr. Brennan, is he okay? Does he have wounds? Did he get attacked? We didn't see it happen on screen. The Demogorgon just disappears with 11. Did they go together somewhere else? If Harper, why do I keep calling him fucking Harper? With Hopper putting out the Eggos. With Hooper putting out the Eggos, there's something going on with 11. Maybe he's been feeding her or waiting to see if she's going to take the stuff. Maybe by putting her favorite food. Maybe that was the first time he's done that. I don't know. The Demogorgon, if 11's alive, is the Demogorgon also alive? And is that going to be still a problem moving forward? I really love the first season. There's not much about this I would complain about. There's nothing, when watching Teen Wolf for the 100, there's a couple episodes where I'm like, here's how this should happen. Here's how I would rewrite this. There's nothing. I love this. I think the Duffer Brothers, or as I like to call, the Duffy brothers. I think the Duffy brothers did their thing, and I can't wait to see how it goes. I know a lot of people were telling me in the comment section that you'll see the budget get better over the course of the season because of how well the show did. So, and I even think I own, well, it came in a loot crate. I have a Stranger Things shirt after season 1. It came in a loot crate that I wore once. I always feel weird wearing shit knowing I've never watched anything from it, but season 1 is done. Tomorrow is August the 25th, which means you will get season 2, episode 1, entitled Mad Max. And we'll kick off season 2, which has 9 episodes. The first 8 episodes are all on Patreon right now. And there's a link to that in the description box down below. You guys can let me know from those own categories: favorite episode, favorite moment, heartbreaking scene, favorite characters, favorite ship, favorite party member, least favorite, underrated, anything. You can let me know your own winners down in the comment section. You can let me know how you feel about episode 1. If you love it and you hate it, remember not to talk spoilers. I'd hate to ban people. As always, links and everything will be in the description box down below. Playlist will be up on screen. Stay cute, stay hydrated, and I'll catch you on the next one.